Stay strong.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, everyone. Stay together. Stay hydrated. Stay strong, stay safe, stay at home. Stay at home, yeah? Stay at home.
くれぐれもお体をお大事に。
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. I am Diana from IK Academy and I would like to welcome all of you to our webinar of the Learn with IK Live series organized by our iClub by IK community page in Facebook. Do join our community page and don't forget to invite other people so that everyone can gain something beneficial from it. Just go to the page and click join. As a friendly reminder, please register yourself through Eventbrite to make sure that you won't miss any notification for our upcoming events and as a record purposes that you have joined our webinar today. If you have any question to ask about this, just type in comment. Our crew will attend to your question and don't forget to type #IK Academy. I would like to say thank you to all our returning audience and to those who are new and this is the first time that you heard about us. We are a technical training provider. At IK Academy, we train and we integrate knowledge technically. Neutrality is our priority. We are totally brand neutral with a strict focus on education. Our training programs cover power, maintenance, environment, building facilities, mechanical, electrical, project management, and more. We are committed to provide the best learning experience to everyone. We believe learning is a lifelong process. Before we proceed with our webinar today, please like and share this live webinar with those who you think will be interested with our sharing today. You may click the share button and share it directly to your FB page, or you may share around the link via WhatsApp, Telegram, or any medium that you may find, as long as it can reach to as many people as possible. And also, please type #IK Academy in comment to show your support and also your presence today. So today, we will have a webinar with the title of Effective Management and Recovery Strategy for Schedule Waste. Our invited speaker, Mr. Donald Ong, will share his knowledge and experience with us. Mr. Donald Ong graduated from Multimedia University, Malaysia with a degree in Business Administration, majoring in Human Resource Development. He started his career in the research and development field, having involved in the development of new dyeing method for textile processing and internal quality assurance for raw material. He was then appointed as the quality management representative for the quality management system and is responsible for the overall quality assurance. With his experience in quality assurance and management, research and development activities for new products, treatment methods, and troubleshooting, he managed to certify himself as the certified environmental professional in industrial effluent treatment system operation in physical, chemical, and biological treatment process, certified environmental professional in schedule waste management. In his previous attachment, he was placed in charge of a great variety of responsibilities from design, development, construction, commissioning, and industrial effluent treatment system and schedule waste management compliance. Later on, he joined an environmental consultancy company in Johor and began his new career path as an environmental engineer in 2014 and was eventually promoted to senior environmental consultant in 2016. Currently, Mr. Donald is the technical director of a consultancy firm to provide consultancy and training services. As a speaker, he is frequently invited to deliver his technical knowledge in specific tech talk, seminar, and conferences. So, well, we are delightful to have Mr. Donald Ong together with us today. So, Mr. Donald Ong, probably you can switch on your camera and also on your mic. Hello, good morning,
Hello.
Mr. Donald. How are you?
Fine.
Good.
Today is a nice day.
Good to know that. Is there anything that you want to add up just now for your profile in case I miss out any point that is important?
Nope. I gotta say a very big thank you to our coordinators and moderators today. It's really well represent all of my biodatas.
Okay, good to know that. Okay, so to everyone here, please say hello to Mr. Donald by typing in comment and also don't forget to type #IK Academy. So again, before we proceed with the webinar, I would appreciate your help to like and share this live show to everyone that you can think of, or probably you can share in your community page in Facebook, LinkedIn, or anywhere else now so that they can join us together. And if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to type your question in comment section anytime in Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and I will read your question accordingly. So, is there anyone say hello to Mr. Donald? Let me check. God, good morning. They said good morning to you. Okay, so I guess, Mr. Donald, you may share your slide and I shall leave the screen for you. Yeah. Anything, you just call me. I'm here.
Can see it?
Yes. You can see. You try to move your slide.
Okay.
Okay.
Clear, right?
Okay. Enjoy, everyone.
Yes, hello everyone. Thanks for your participations. So shall we begin?
Yes.
Okay. So really appreciate for the opportunity given by the IK Academy for us to conduct this kind of, we can say short, but then we try to be fruitful for these today mornings. So you will spend around 1 hour with me. So I will take around 45 minutes in order to complete for my presentations and my sharing regarding on the effective waste management and recovery strategy for the scheduled waste. But this is official courses, but then this one is we do some minor extract. And then during these 45 minutes of sharing, I will try to share something different too, which is we bring over on the environmental safety prospect and how to handle for the accidental spill. Okay, even though for your chemicals or even for your waste or even for your scheduled waste itself. Okay, so let us begin. So this is my speaker profiles, but then definitely just now our moderators really well represent all of my previous biodata, so I won't go through all this thing anymore. So, okay, so our agenda and tentative today's, I wish to share with you on the first part is the difference between the waste and the schedule waste itself, because this is two different kind of approach. Okay, don't confuse yourself between the waste and the schedule waste. And then the effective schedule waste management and the environmental safety approach, current technology available in the recovery activities and their approaches. And then last one will be the open Q&A sessions. You are welcome in order to ask any single questions. I will try my very best in order to answer you as far as I could. If I really can't, give us some time. I will feedback all of the answers back to IK Academy, and then I will ask the moderators, coordinators, and even facilitators to send you the answer of your questions. Okay, so now we begin. What is the waste? Because right, in the sense of the waste, there are two types of interpretation. Okay, this is the general descriptions, which is the byproducts eliminated or discarded and no longer useful required after the completion of the process. So unwanted or any unusable material substance or byproduct is considered as the waste. But then what is the sense in the international terms? Okay, in Malaysia, we are using Basel Convention. So in Basel Convention, we are required to indicate the substance or object which are disposed or are intended to be disposed or are required to be disposed of the provision of law. This is what the terms of the waste in Malaysia or in all other South Asian countries that are using Basel Convention. But then in European unions, they are an object of holder discard, intend to be discarded or required to be discarded. So these are two different kind of approaches. Okay, when you use discard and dispose, discard is something that no longer in use, but then it high chances that can be recovered. But then in the sense of the dispose words is we try to dispose, you try to throw away. It's something unuseful and something that cannot be recovered. So in Malaysia, we cannot accept any kind of transboundary of the waste itself, no matter is solid waste or is the schedule waste. If schedule waste is 100% prohibited in order to do the transboundary. But then for the waste itself, if the waste has been partially recovered or being fully recovered as a raw material, you can do import and export. We take one simple examples of the e-waste or the plastic waste itself. Why of the European country, they still can export out all of their plastic waste and then they never treated their plastic waste by themselves because they are using the terms of the European Union. All of these plastic waste are intended to be discarded. But then since we are discarding it, but then someone can use it in order to recovery. So they can send over some of the recovery plan out on the overseas. But then Malaysia won't accept all these kind of terms because we are using Basel Convention. If you already declare this particular substance as the waste, so it won't be accepted in our provisions of law. So these are the terms of the waste itself in the international. So we must take something seriously, okay, when your waste doesn't manage properly, no matter it's scheduled waste or it's normal ordinary waste. Ordinary waste, no matter it's solid, liquid, it will cause major pollution. We just take example oil, cooking oil, that every day we will use on it because we use all of this cooking oil just in order to make the food that we like, that we must consume every day. So after you've done all of your cooking activities, your stirring, your frying, your all these things, so we can say the oil residues left inside your kitchen, you must treat it properly. Instead of you just straight away pour into your sink and then let it flow into the drain and then straight away goes into our rivers. Most of the time, pollution doesn't caused by the industrial activities. The pollution are caused by human daily activities. I always like to share these kind of terms. It's not like because of the manufacturing or all the industry activities that are causing the pollutions. The major pollution of the earth are basically come from human. We are the sources of the pollution actually. It's not like any processes, specific kind of process or specific kind of activities that basically generating the pollution. We are the pollution source. Without the humans, actually it won't cause any pollution. Why there is a manufacturing? Because we are required to have our daily products in order to sustain our daily life. So that's why this come with the manufacturing activities. So we don't always blame major pollutions or anything happens that be just because of the manufacturing or industry activities. It's something unfair. It's something unfair. And then since I was started my career on the 2011 until now, it's almost 11 years, I witnessed the growth of the industries. I witnessed the growth of the changes. So from the time to time, on these 11 years of time, I noticed that most of the industry has been improvised their waste management, try to do a lot of investment in the sense of upgrading their wastewater treatment systems to ensure the pollution has been bring down as low as that could. But then most of the people is the one that simply littering around, pouring most of the oil substance and other hazardous substance that you, in your daily life itself, just straight away goes into the drain and then goes into our soil, land, and all these things. And then doing most of the illegal open burnings. These are actually the major causes of the pollution actually now happens in Malaysia. So the impact of the accumulation of the waste is just like it will cause the degradation of the land, pollution of the drinking waters, destruction of your aquatic life, degradation of the ground and surface waters. Improper disposal of the waste can cause the soil, air, and water pollution. But honestly for the waste management itself, most of the major, without proper handling of the waste, it will definitely cause into water pollution. Because no matter you are doing open burning, you are transmitting all of your waste into gas emissions, sent out to the air, and then in the end of the day, it will turn into the rain, goes back to the land. You are doing any landfills or any kinds of landfill activities, you try to, you can say landfill any waste, it will also cause the water pollutions of the underground waters. You straight away throw all of these trashes or all of these solid waste into the drain, it will cause straight away the river pollutions with the solid waste. So as humans, we are the made of waters. 70% of our human bodies is cause of the water source. We are required to consume a lot of waters in order to make ourselves hydrated. So if the water is being polluted, it will significantly cause a major effect on our health issues. So make sure you do your waste properly no matter where you are. So if what happens is your waste doesn't manage properly, it will cause environmental pollution, definitely, water source polluted, land pollution, human health effects due to the water and air pollution, it can cause fatal diseases. So when the pollution has been caused, what are the things that in the end will lead to? It will lead to extra cost of cleaning up and disposal. So it doesn't work. So there are the different types of the waste based on their origin. There are municipal solid waste, which are caused every day, our packaging waste and all these things. Biomedical waste now, during this pandemic, post-pandemic, pandemic, and then now endemic times, we are still generating quite a lot of infectious waste. which is the biomedical waste. Self-test kit, biohazard test kit, if you go over to check for your health condition, blood test and all these things, it also costs for the biomedical waste. Industrial waste, which caused by the industrial activities. Agricultural waste, which is most of the time come from the feces itself for the farming activities. Okay, fishery waste, radioactive waste, electronic waste, just want to give you examples. Okay. So in the sense of the type of the waste by their properties, we have two types, solid and liquid waste. So just now we talked about the terms of the waste itself. Now we see how a waste can be classified from waste to become a scheduled waste. The scheduled waste is like, in Malaysia, we have a proper scheduled waste regulation 2005 to regulate the industry, and even some of the all activities and processes happens in Malaysia. How it can be classified under scheduled waste? Because most of them are solid, liquid, gases or sludge. But then how to do the classification? It's just simply they have the characteristic of these five. Okay. When the particular waste contain any one of these characteristics, it will fall under the classifications of scheduled waste. If easy to ignite, will corrode, it will toxic, reactive, and then is infectious. Okay. Any one of it will fall under the category of scheduled waste. So in our Malaysia, we are using the terms initially, before the year of 2005, we are using the terms of cradle to grave. This is the terms, cradle to grave. Generator, generate the waste, transport the waste, and then the grave itself, we just dispose, incinerate, or landfill the waste. This is the final destination. So we never do any recover, recycle, reuse, all these kind of terms. These 3R, 4R, 7R terms never been implemented before on the year of 2005. So what we do, we generate the waste, we transport the waste, and then we dispose the waste. That's it. But then after the year of the 2005, we are changing the terms. We are changing the terms from the cradle to grave to cradle to cradle. Okay, so after the year of 2005, we have one new industry being generated out, which is the waste receiver industry. Waste receiver is the one that will be responsible to handle your scheduled waste. So when the waste generator generate the waste, transporter transport the waste to the waste receiver premises, what are the things that the waste receiver will do? The activities will be done by the waste receiver is actually doing the recovery and recycle activities. They will try to recover whatever contains that basically can be contained out. Okay, this is the terms that what they use. Okay, initially when you send out one of the plastic bottles and all these things, aluminium cans and all this, okay, goes to the collection center. The collection center just in order for you to collect, segregate, and then in the end of the day, they send over to all of this recovery plant. The recovery plant is the one will be responsible in order to collect and then do all of these melting processes, and then afterwards they will do for the purities. Okay, they'll remove all the impurities, filtrations, and afterwards make it back into the raw material. Okay, just wish to emphasize something important here. Before you send over any solid waste, okay, like plastic cans, we take example, these coffee cups, okay, paper, is made out of papers. Okay, so after I finish up the coffees, before I wish to make it a new life, I give it a new life. I gotta send over to the collection center or any recovery facilities. Make sure you clean it properly before you send over, because most of the people nowadays, especially in Malaysia, after you finish drinking any canned drinks or any bottled drinks, especially soft drinks, fruits, okay, fruit juice or whatever, they never clean up the can properly. Straight away, they pour into the collection point or collection centers, or they just keep inside the plastic bags, and afterwards, the whole plastic bag, they straight away sent over to the receiver. Most of the time, if contaminated with a lot of residues inside, it will affect the quality of the final resin or final products that are being recovered. Okay, and then most of the time, high chances the resources that you send over that you thought it can be recovered or being recycled, in the end of the day, is end up inside the landfill area because it's too dirty until it couldn't get recovered. Okay, so make sure yourself do a proper awareness, try to share this information before you dispose or you wish to send any things over to any recovery plant. Make sure it's clean, to clean up first. Okay, so the final residues that from the waste receiver we consider as SW501, that one only will be sending over to the waste treatment and disposal facility, which is so-called a grave. Okay, in Peninsular Malaysia, we only have one government certified, okay, general waste receiver, scheduled waste receiver, which is under Sembiro groups. We call it Quality Alam. Okay, and then in Sabah Sarawak, they are using Trinicans. That is the only grave available in Malaysia. So on the pollution prevention hierarchy, this is what we wish to desire to achieve. First thing is to reduce and conserve the material, and then go for encourage cyclical use resources and shift incentive to stop wasting. Manufacture design product for sustainability and take back, reuse, recycle, regulated disposal. Okay. So nowadays, we must change our concept. Any things you try to reduce the usage first, and then manufacturer also try to do as much as a new invention, something like this. We can take it back. Okay, this one can be separated out. Okay, so there are much more design that coming in order to assist you to do your waste segregation at home. So encourage to take back the recovery rates and the recycle rates. So in your waste management hierarchy, always go for waste reduction, reuse, reutilization, recovery, and recycling. Treatment, the last one only for the safe landfill or any disposal. Okay, these are the impact of the waste dumping in marine life. As I say, I don't want to go this too much deeper because all of you know about all these things. What happens to our marine life with the pollutions of the plastic waste. But then this is just a plastic waste, just solid. But then if you imagine there's a lot of liquid waste or even gaseous waste has been straight away diverted into the sea or diverted into the river, what it would be happens. And then everyone likes seafoods. If this one getting worse and worse, I don't think anyone can enjoy any fresh seafood from the river, from the sea anymore. Okay. Now we talk about the effective management. On your schedule waste management prospect, we have one thing, because on your every single activities, okay, no matter what kind of the production activities or even industrial activities or your daily activities, you are high chances generating schedule waste. But then in Malaysia, which is inside our EQA 1974, inside our this book, you couldn't see, I must put until on my bodies, okay, this one, under our EQA 1974 Schedule Waste Regulation 2005, we have total 77 waste code. And then out of these 77 waste code, how you got to do the classification? Because we receive numerous these kind of questions come from industry practitioner. He said, yes, no. Nowadays, we try to run a new product and then there's a new kind of waste being generated. How we got to do for the identifications and classification? So the identification, we shall use these 4 information, which is already written inside the slide here: the sources of the waste generated, the type of the process and the activities, physical and the chemical composition of your waste, and the information provided inside the safety data sheet. We use these 4 in order to do the identification first. We identify most of your waste characteristic out, and then afterwards only we refer to the first schedule, which is written inside the Schedule Waste Regulation 2005, with those 77 code. Only we try to classify them, the waste, into any suitable and relevant waste code. Okay, the waste code cannot be simply assigned. We cannot simply assign waste code. We must assign the waste code according to the identification information. Okay, this is what we call the effective management. Because some of the people, they never do all these kind of works. Most of the time, they are just throw all of these, we can say, responsibilities to their waste receiver. They ask their waste receiver in order to identify, okay, to classify all of this information for them. It's something unfair. Okay, it shall be done by yourself because you are the one that responsible for your waste. You will be more, we can say, suitable and even appropriate in order to complete this task. Okay, so in your schedule waste, we got total 5 categories. Just now we mentioned 77 code. Now, out of these 77 code, they being classified into 5 different kind of categories. How our departments of environment actually classified them into 5 different kind of categories? They are based on these elements. Okay, from the metals, elements, compound constituents, types of the processes that involve, usage of the application, the chances of the contaminations, and then last one is the activities. So we got SW1, SW2, SW3, SW4, SW5. So this is the 5 category that we mentioned. Okay. If you wish to know more, you can go refer into your EQA 1974 Schedule Waste Regulation 2005. Okay. On your first schedule itself, they have indicate, and then what is the category itself. But then we just do a simply touch here, because on your category 1, they are basically the metal waste, metal solid waste, physical forms. So all of your electronic waste are fall under SW110, which is called under the name of e-waste. Okay. And then for the SW2, they are principally inorganic. Okay, which is principally inorganic, like the spent inorganic acid. All these things are fall under the category of SW2. SW3 are principally organic. Okay, so most of the organic acid, alkalines, they are fall under the category of number 3. And then SW4 is regarding on the contamination, because just now we talked about contaminations. Okay, so they are principally organic or inorganic, because it becomes the schedule waste just because of the issue of contamination. Okay, initially it's a clean items. We take one simple example, the cloth. Okay, cotton rags. Initially the cotton rags is just your product, but then when you use the cotton rag to wipe on the oil, to wipe on the machine, it's contaminated with the oil, and then the oil is classified under the category of SW305, the spent lubricating oil. So once the cloth of the cotton rags being contaminated with the SW305, it will straight away fall into the category of SW410, okay, contaminated rags. So this is the principle of the contamination, being contaminated. And then the category 5, they only have one code, which is SW501. I just now talked, you mentioned about the activities. What kind of the activities that they refer to is the recycle, final recovery and recycles activities. These kind of activities will generate the final residues of the SW501. Okay, so the schedule waste itself, they will have different kind of basic properties. So based on the basic property itself is the appearance and the nature, odor and the smell, release any vapor, fume or smoke. Phase is, what kind of phase is it? Presence of the oil and grease, the color forms, the texture and the shapes, wet and dry condition. This is the general that you can see with your own bare eyes. It's just like that. Okay, so over here, just now we already talked about the 4 principles of it. So this is the steps. So the first step and the second step. The first step, you need to determine, analyze the waste through the collect of the representative samples. You must do all of these analyses based on yourself. Okay. The characteristic, the waste characteristic has been given as inside the guideline of the DOE. You may refer it in order to do for your toxicity analysis. After you've done the toxicity analysis, then you can go for the classifications and then compare the characteristic into the first schedule to do your classification. Okay, so just now we already talked about the group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5. This is what I taught just now. Okay. And then I try to simplify inside one table, okay, how to do the effective schedule waste management. Because in the sense of your management plan, under our schedule waste regulation 2005, you shall notify. This is the first thing that you must do. You must follow the regulation 3 under schedule waste regulation 2005. On the second schedule, you must complete your waste notification inside the 𝗔𝗰𝗱𝗍𝗆 system 30 days prior the waste being generated. Okay, 30 days prior the waste generated, you must done your notification inside the 𝗔𝗰𝗱𝗍𝗆 systems. And then on the inventory parts, you must follow the regulation 11, and then to complete your 5th schedule. Okay, even you need to update inside your 5th schedule, okay, as a manual record. And then you must update the total inventory into your 𝗔𝗰𝗱𝗍𝗆 system in a basic monthly basis. Okay, and then for your storage and packaging, you must follow regulation 9. And then also you can refer to the guidance documents of storage and packaging, which is provided by our environmental institutions of Malaysia. And then sorting and segregation, you shall follow the regulation 9.2, sub-regulation 2. Okay, and then you can refer to the 4th schedule. The 4th schedule has been mentioned there, everything. For the labeling, you shall follow the regulation 10, 3rd schedule with the pictograms. Refer all the pictograms that shall be used under, and even can follow the guidance document of the storage and packaging. On the waste disposal and the collection from waste receiver, you need to follow another two more sub-regulation, which is 12 and 13. Make sure you are provided your receiver and your transporter a relevant documentation, like your 6th and 7th schedule. 6th schedule is the consignment note. The 7th schedule is the waste card. Okay, it's the waste card, which is indicate most of the information regarding of your waste. So if anything happens while doing the transportation, any accidents happens, when the hazmat team come from fire and rescue departments, they know what kind of the spill control measure they shall use. Okay, so that is a responsible for the waste generator to provide the relevant information to the waste receiver and the transporter. Okay, now it goes into our second title, which is your environmental safety. Because just now we talked about all these things, this is the additional info that I wish to share during this very precise short sessions, because I doesn't have much more time in order to elaborate more. Okay, so let us go through, don't spend some time. Okay, because only nowadays people only look into human safety, but then you must understand one thing. Without a safe environment, it's hard for a human to be safe. Okay, if you are exposed yourself in a very hazardous kind of environment, don't tell me about the human safety. You won't make it. So this is the new terms that we try to implement, environmental safety approach. How to make sure the environment is safe. Your effective waste management, your effective waste handling, your effective spill response. That is the what we so call the environment safety. You must make sure you yourself doesn't expose yourself in those kinds of hazardous kind of environments. So these are the spills. There are two types of the spill might be happens. It can be caused by the chemical, it can be caused by the oil, it can be caused by the schedule waste. So when there is a spill happens, what are the things that you need to know? You must straight away identify the situation. Is a minor spill or is a major spill? If the minor spill, you can address the spill by your own emergency response spill handling teams. Okay, because nowadays there's a lot of kind of technologies we can see, not really the technology, yes, but then at the same time also a lot of kits, spill response toolbox or whatever to assist you to address the spill. Later on, we will go through all of it, so you will have a brief understanding about these things. Okay, so when there is a spill happens, approaching accidental spill situation, the first thing, do not panic. Anything happens, don't panic. Determine and identify the spill substance. What kind of the substance is that? Oil, chemical, or schedule waste? If schedule waste, what kind of schedule waste? Because schedule-based just now we already talked, we got total 5 categories, 77 code. Each of the code have different kind of characteristic. So we must know, okay? And then refer to the safety data sheet or refer to the waste guide. Assess the situation, cordon off the area, determine the severity of the spill, major or minor. If minor, the one that we can address ourselves, we straight away must be positive and then go through response. Determine what kind of the action shall we take. Okay. But then if it's a major spill, straight away contact, cordon off the area, ask people don't close to the area. Okay. And then make sure the surrounding is or wide opens, and then straight away call for the hazmat team from fire and rescue department. Okay, so these are the following actions. Evacuate non-essential personnel from the area. Ventilate the area by opening the windows if it is in enclosed area like this kind of rooms. Okay, if the spill material is flammable, extinguish all open flames. Do not operate electricity switch. Avoiding inhaling vapors from the spill material. Use personal protective equipment before you enter the spill area. Make sure you equip yourself first. Okay. Ensure that is an exit nearby, and then use a spill containment kit to clean out the spill if that is a minor spill. Okay. Okay, and then here is to determine whether it's major spills. Injury sustained require medical attention. If there's someone already got caused, okay, got caused any kind of medical need, required medical attention, that we consider as a major spill. Poses an immediate danger to life and health. Potential for fire and explosion. The quantity of the spills, properties of the hazard, and spill material that are unknown. Okay, so when this kind of scenario happens, it's all considered under major spill. You need to do is straight away contact the external emergency response for the cleanup. So these are the things you need to do. You must evacuate the area, attend the injured person first, shut down the possible ignition source, try to control the spread of the spill. Notify your supervisor, contact the local chief fire warden, and then other authorities, okay, like your direct supervisor, local area safety and health committee, EHSO, other authority department like DOE, Departments of Environment, Department of Occupational Safety and Health, and Fire Rescue Department, okay. Regarding on a minor spill, you can straight away do the cleanup by yourself, but then make sure before you do, you know how to do it properly. So I highlight over here, only laboratory staff or any operator staff that has been appropriate training for the cleaning a laboratory spill. He or she must possess relevant skills, okay, in order to do for the emergency response spill cleanup. Okay, so look after the contaminated people, restrict the area in the appropriate signage, control the spread of the spill, refer your STS of your waste card, follow the established safe work procedures, and then also you need to contact the local specific authorities. So these are the things that we call about the safety precautions. Before you need to do something, make sure you properly protect yourself, and then you can go address the issues. Okay, don't straight away go without the proper personal protection. Okay, it's highly hazardous to you, also highly hazardous to the others. It isn't unfair. Okay, it's unfair to you, also unfair to everyone's, and even to your management if you are in a workplace. Okay, safety precautions. So all of these signage shall be widely implemented inside any premises. Make sure when there's anything happens, people know where is the locations of the emergency showers, and then where is the first aid kit, where is the fire extinguisher, where is the information like safety data sheet and waste card, and even the chemical spill location. Okay, your spill kit location. Sorry, I got to beat faster because I noticed already 10:40. I shall stop around, maximum should be around 10:50. So I need left less than 10 minutes. Okay. So bottom here, I'm trying to share some of the pictures. I'm not sure whether I cover up more pictures. I try to avoid myself. Okay. So from here, you can see this is the basic, we can say appropriate kinds of management of the laboratory, and then this is a schedule waste stock. Okay, it must be clean, tidy, and then located with all of the requirements. Okay, from the schedule waste stock itself, you must have a proper bunding, what we so call the second containments, and then make sure everything is on. The waste segregation shall be doing accordingly. So these are the examples. So on the emergency measure, okay, we take around 1 or 2 minutes to share this information. Okay, you can see here, if anything contained, most of the time you need to flush with plenty of waters. Okay, flush with plenty of waters, and then after that you need to apply, because this case that they're showing you is they got contact with the hydrochloric acid. So you need to apply at least 2.5% of calcium gluconate gel in order to neutralize it. Okay, last year, I go deliver a training in Nilai area. They are doing the galvanizing activities. Okay, their process, their industrial activities is doing galvanized activities. So when they are doing galvanized activities, they are using a lot of hydrochloric acid. So one of their Bangladesh operators are being spilled with the hydrochloric acid. When I saw that participants sit right in front of me and saw all of their scars and the wounds itself that haven't fully recovered, I feel like so heart pains. And then when I asked about the whole scenarios, luckily the operators over, which is the colleague over there, while the incident happens, is quite a well-trained person. Because when you got spilled with all of these inorganic acids, like hydrochloric or any sulfuric acid, you cannot straight away rinse with plenty of water. That what you need to do, you need to use faster using the absorbents in order to wipe, to clean up, okay? To wipe and clean up the residues on the skin first before you can rinse, or you can rinse it with a plenty of waters. If because you know all of these spent in organic acid, or we can see, spent in organic acid, they are highly, we can say, vigilant kind of reactions with the water itself. So when you never clean up, wipe off all of these residues before you do the plenty water rinsing, you can cause people dying over there. So luckily this kind of incident happens. Okay, the colleagues doesn't panic. Faster get the absorbent pads and then clean up all the residue first. Even he saw his friend is already shouting over there, but then still doing properly first, and then only bring over to the emergency shower there and then to clean up. And straight away sent into the hospital for we can see the further treatment measurement. So this is what kind of the things that you must know. So possess relevant knowledge and skill is pretty important for you to address all these kind of accidents. Okay, so intensive or vertic sealage, basically they can bring different kind of the impact. Okay, so now on the technology for the spill handling, I give you a very brief kind of go-throughs. So these are all of these available technology. They've been used in offshore in order to address the spill of the oil, and then on a premises or at your home, basically you can use all of these kind of absorbent actually, okay, to address the oil issues. Okay, so these are the spill kit itself, and then these are the absorbent availables. Okay, booms, marine booms, and all these things. Okay, absorbent socks, and then these are the second containment in order to contain. Okay, for no matter it's for your chemical or for your schedule waste. Okay, marine booms is to use on the offshore itself in order to contain if there is any excessive kind while doing the oil extractions. Okay. So on the prescribed premises, which is on your waste receiver parts, what kind of the recovery technology that they use, and then what kind of the approach that they use. So in the prescribed premises and the facilities, what kind of approach did they use is to uplift the standard to stay competitive, responsible, and to be sustainable. So inside their whole receiving operations, Departments of Environment also giving them a very stringent kind of license requirement. They must make sure their treatment technology is very good. They can address most of the schedule waste issue, the carbon emissions, the integration, circularity, compliance, resource conservation, sustainability, smart control, competency, and even last one is the efficiency parts. Okay, they must make sure they fulfill all of these requirements. Okay, to make them always competitive as the licensed schedule waste receiver. So over here, we talk about the compliance itself. In the sense of compliance, we have regulatory compliances, system compliances, operational compliances. In the sense of the regulatory compliances, we got the Acts, regulation, and order, which is the one that I'm showing you just now. This one. Okay. They must make sure they fulfill all the information that being written inside our provisions of law. And then system compliance, nowadays we know a lot of ISO. So we got quality management system, environmental management system, safety management system. We got different kind of management system nowadays. Operational compliances, we are looking over the SOP versus the actual practices. Because we can do a very nice standard operating procedures written on papers, but then when we look in the actual practices, they are totally different. What they write inside the paper is not the actual kind of approach or actual kind of action that they refer to. Okay, what's paper write and what people do can be totally different and very drastic kind of differences. And then these are the, we can say, common technologies that nowadays being widely implemented in most of the schedule waste receiver. So in the sense here is the good technology is no longer an excuse for the bad ideas. The technology is always keep on being invented, but then whether how to apply, where to apply, and then how to evaluate is up to the user itself. Okay, it's up to the user itself. So out of this here, we got total around 10. So they got fluidized bed incineration, they got vortex incineration, multi-herd furnace, rotary clean incineration, and then for the wastewater, for the liquid waste part, we got moving bed bioreactors, we got physiochemicals, we got forced circulation evaporators, fractional distillation, agitated thin films evaporators, and even steam stripping column for recover the ammonia. So there are a lot of much more. Each kind of this technology basically can use to recover to different kind of things. We take one example and then explain to you before I pass back, my sessions goes back to the coordinators. We take fluidized bed incineration. They can incinerate most of the wastewater treatment sludge, they cannot be recovered. Transfer most of these sludges into energy, which is electricity. Later on, if you register for these courses, you can get in much more. I was showing you how the details, these things, how all of this each technology works, and then what kind of the outcomes, and then what are the final result of all of this each technology. So later on, hopefully I can see all of you over after these short sessions, and you can see you in the actual classes there. Okay, so thanks, because I think I'm running out of 5 minutes time. Now I will pass it back to the moderator, Diana.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Donald, for the sharing. if let's say you still have like anything else to add, I can give you like 5 more minutes if you want.
Okay, I leave it on the floor. Is it any questions that coming out?
As of now, we don't have any question from Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Okay, but it's okay. We give them some time. So to everyone here, if you have any question to ask, please type your question in comment in Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. And as for the rest of you, if you don't have any question, just type #IK Academy. Mr. Donald, probably can you stop share first before we continue, so that people can see your face. Okay, so before we proceed with the question and to give some time for everyone to write their question if there is any, I would like to highlight our upcoming training that you might be interested in as shown in the screen. Please scan the barcode shown and click on the link shared in the comment section to get more details. Okay, so let's continue with the question because we have few questions from Eventbrite. So for the rest of you, please type your question now. Yeah? Okay, so we have the first question is that this one is from student from UniKL. How to be a competent person in SEPSWAM?
Okay, how to be a competent person? Let me share this kind of, we can see the process flow. Initially now in Malaysia, EMAS now already sub the cost out to 2 or 3 training providers. We got now total 4 training providers that basically can conduct for the SEPSWAM course. First one is Airways Water, second one is 𝗔𝗰𝗱𝗆𝗺𝗆, and then third one is under INSTEP, the fourth one is under UMCEED. Okay, these 4 training providers is the one being certified by EMAS to provide for the SEPSWAM competency course. You may find out them on EMAS official website to register yourself. You can do self-sponsor. Okay, you can do self-sponsor actually to go attend the course. But then the only challenges you will face is the courses take 5 days. You need to attend the course for 4 days. And then the 5th days, you will attend it for 2 types of the examination. Morning, you will go for practical section examination. It's a case study basis. So total, there will be 8 questions. Out of the 8 questions, you need to select 6 questions to complete it within 2 hours time. And then for the afternoon one, you will go for your comprehensive exam. The comprehensive exam consists of 140 questions, and then you need to complete it within 2 hours time. Passing marks is 70. So out of these 140 questions, you only can wrong for maximum 40 lah. Okay, maximum 40. Okay, but then most of the time people can pass through all of these examination, no problems. Okay, and then got people ask me, Donald, if I accidentally fail, do I need to retake back the whole course? No need. You just need to pay additional 300 to environmental institutions of Malaysia, and then you can resit back for the exam. Okay, that is the accident happen. But then so far, I don't think there is any this kind of accident happens. So far, everyone managed to pass with flying colors. And then the next step is within a year times, your initial result will come out around 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, 2 months times. You will get your temporary certification. On your temporary certification, they will indicate 12 months of the duration period. Within this 12 months time, you need to use 6 months to complete your data gathering in any premises. Okay, in any premises. If you are self-sponsored, you can try to contact any factory and then you can contact them. Okay, I'm the candidate of the SEPSWAM. Can I use your company details and informations? I can assist you to plan for your waste management. So you can assist them in order to complete your 6-month data gathering on the site. And then you use the 6-month data in order to complete your field training report. Okay, something similar like your thesis, but then much more easier. Okay, much more easier. So once you're done, you need to submit your thesis within your expiry date on your certification, goes back into EMAS. And then EMAS officer will arrange a formal viva. So usually there will be 1 or 2 interviewer to interview you in order to certify you as the certified professional in schedule waste management. So welcome you on board if you have interest, because after you certify yourself, make sure you maintain your CPD point, and then we are the CPD point training providers, especially like IK Academy. So you can contact them for further, and then I can see you in the next time.
Thank you for that. So thank you for the long explanation. So I hope Mr. Donald answered your question. Yeah. So the next one is actually from student as well from USM. So what will be the best role or practices of each local authority to get the involvement of the public in waste management?
I can tell most of the authority actually already quite aggressively participate and then try to do their best role in assist on the waste reduction and enhance of the 3R, 4R kind of practices and approach. But then in the sense of regulation, I like to ask these kind of questions, because in our EQA 1974, basically it's not like enforced for the industry activities, Each of the Malaysian citizens are under this regulation. So if you simply littering around, the DOE officer actually have the rights to compound you. But then why we couldn't do these things? It's just like, out of the Malaysia got total 32 millions of population. But then DOE officer only less than 2,000 in whole Malaysia. So impossible, you ask the 2,000 of people in order to go enforce for the 32 million of people.
Correct.
So it's something impossible that can be done. So each of us shall play the major role in order to ensure these kind of approaches can be widely implemented. So that's why I try my very best in order to collaborate with most of the NGOs and then try to do as much as sharing that I can. So if all of you possess all these kind of relevant kind of skill information, try to share as much as possible to the others and then to influence the peers. This is what are the things that you shall do actually. Hopefully these answers can assist you to have some clues. But then I tell you, most of the government agency, if they're getting stringent and stringent, it doesn't benefit to our economic.
Okay. So let's see. Thank you for the explanation. So I hope it answers your question. Yeah. So let me check whether we have any other question from Facebook. Hold on. I think, yep, we don't have. So I guess we have come to the end of our session. So since there is no any other question, do you have any last advice or messages that you wanted to tell the audience today?
No, I never expect there is totally no question at all unless
That's why I'm
except for
waiting
those two.
also. Okay, got now. Hold on, just came in luckily. Hold on. This one from Nizam. I think this is from Facebook. Hold on, let me read. This is quite long. Wait. Is it current capacity of waste management service provider compared to volume of waste generated are at good competitive condition at at well-managed level in your view as an environmental consultant?
Okay. I can totally understand about why you're asking about these questions. Because nowadays I know waste generator are hardly to find, waste receiver to collect your waste. Most of the time, waste generator are having the issues with the Departments of Environment, which is you store your waste more than 180 days or you store your waste more than 20 metric tons. Okay, if you see regarding on the proportions between the waste receiver and the waste generator, our existing waste generator basically can assist to absorb most of the waste generated. But then why this kind of scenario happens? Because DOE, Departments of Environment, noticed that some of the waste receiver, they couldn't properly manage the excessive waste that they collected from the generator. Because you can notice that inside your E3 system, there is a waste characteristic column and waste acceptance criteria column. So now DOE is trying to find the suitable, compatible, okay? Like your waste characteristic is compatible to the waste receiver, waste acceptance criteria, only you can appoint this particular scheduled waste receiver as your contractor. So this one it's easier for the waste receiver to receive the suitable kind of waste and then they can manage the waste properly. So we can significantly bring down the illegal dumping and illegal discharge issue. So this is a transition times. This is a time of transition. So everyone try to bear on it, especially all those they are industry practitioner. I know all of you are quite suffered, but then now DOE are quite open for the application for storage more than 180 days and 20 metric tons. So if you're having those kind of issue, please try to complete that particular application form to your local Departments of Environment. I think your officer would be very helpful in order to assist you to get the approval granted. Okay?
Okay, so I hope Mr. Donald answered your question, Cik Nizam. Let me check whether... Yep, I think there is no other question. Any last advice, Mr. Donald?
My last advice is to hopefully everyone's here gain some things that new, and then even though those informations you already know, I try to urge everyone that basically do your proper responsibility as Malaysian citizens. Be responsible to yourself, be responsible to our mother nature.
Right.
Try to do your waste reduction as much as possible. And then if you generating most of the waste, try to segregate it and make it a new life for them. Because we need to conserve the material as much as we can, or else, right, most of our children, grandchildren, maybe they cannot see any plants anymore, you know. So that would be my final advice.
And
hopefully I bring
forget,
something fruitful information to all of you.
don't forget to clean all the things before you throw in the right. Correct. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Donald, for your sharing today. I believe all of us here gain lots of knowledge from you. So to everyone here, if you are interested to learn more from Mr. Donald, we have scheduled a session of 2 days training on 21st and 22nd April 2022, which is next week, about effective management and recovery strategy for scheduled waste. Please fill up the form via link that RK Crew shared in comments to get more details about this training, and we might have some special discount if you are really interested to join his training. So thanks again, Mr. Donald, and to all of you here. Please leave some comment in Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and a thank you note to our guest speaker today. At least we know that we share something beneficial to you. And also don't forget to type #IK Academy. Please like and follow our page in Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also join our FB community page, iClub by IK, to get latest news for our upcoming IK Live webinar series and other content sharing. We will be having our next webinar next Thursday, 21st of April at 10 a.m. Kuala Lumpur time, about project management principles, know 7 steps and 3 important elements. Do check our page for more details. Last but not least, please check your email for a thank you email via Eventbrite to get the link and barcode to retrieve your e-certificate. And don't forget to claim it within 3 days. Well, I hope I can see you again. Thanks from me, Diana from IK Academy, and stay safe, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Donald. Before you leave, please watch this video from all of us from IK Academy. Bye-bye. Thank you. See you.
Hi everybody. Hi guys.
Stay strong.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe everyone. Stay together.
Stay hydrated.
Stay strong, stay safe, stay at home, yeah. Stay home.
くれぐれもお体をお大事に。